Okay, you're rolling.
Okay, so border molding for the upper denture. Okay, we tried the tray, it's working fine. We know it's short of it. We try it on the patient's mouth, right? Stable, it's short of the limits, so we're good. Now, Mr. Edencio Rodriguez has a big problem with serostomia. So it's got no saliva or any moist in the mouth. For that, we're gonna create a little bit of, I'm not making any ads for this, but we need a little bit of lubricant, okay? And we found this is a very good lubricant for this. And what we'll do is we're just gonna go around and put a little bit of this canola oil all around our patients so the compound does not stick to it, okay? Once you have it like that, and we'll repeat this process as we take final impression as well. Now, as we showed in one of the videos, what I like to do, and there's many ways to border mold, but we're gonna border mold with something we call compound. It's an impression material that melts around the same temperature or a little bit lower than the mouth, right? So that would let me perform the masticular muscle, perform the movements in order to capture those movements as we were talking in class. First, I have to apply it to all the periphery to where I want to impress. Now for that, I need a flame, I need my alcohol torch, and I need the water bath. Water bath has water, it's got the temperature to where I can always temper it before I put it into my patient's mouth. Before that, I would like to melt this into the limits of where I'm gonna take the impression, right? This material is very peculiar and it'll start melting or it will soften, but then it gets to a point where it starts dripping. So the only way for you guys to really get a hold of how this material works is by doing it over and over again. So I recommend you guys to, practice the correct way to do this one. Now, as you see it, as I'm putting this on, I'm making sure it sticks to the tray, right? I can always use this. Remember how this will throw a flame? I'll make it nice and smooth. Now, before I go to the mouth, this is very hot right now. I will put it in my water bath. The water bath will temper and even the temperature of this, making it
The working temperature of the compound.
making it
As stated on the box.
Yes,
This is
sir.
hotter than that. Not a lot. A little hotter than the 123, the dark green is listed for.
which is very, very manageable to take it into the patient's
Right.
mouth, right?
Hotter than the body temperature, but probably cooler than a cup of coffee.
So I press it down, right? And now, because my patient does not have movements, I'm just gonna try to border mold this part like this, okay? Trying to adapt until we get something nice, smooth, and even. You see it? This is what I'm looking for. I'm exactly looking at a border that is being captured on my patient's mouth as the patient is doing some gestures, as I am working with the muscles, maybe having the patient suck the finger or just doing some muscle movements. That's gonna impress that new active or dynamic deepest part of the vestibule.
Of course,
As
if the tray handle gets in the way of the lip, bend it out of the way.
Exactly, and that's why we like these metal or aluminum tray handles. And the beauty of this compound is that you can do it over again. You see, I'm doing little by little. Now I'm going to the other side, and the nice thing is that you can heat it up and put it back, heat it up and put it back as many times as you want, and it'll still capture what you need to capture. See? Look, in this case, if you're short, I'm gonna make it short here. Okay, I'm not gonna go as perfect as here. So I'll show you. Again, it goes to my patient's mouth from the back to the front, right? And I start performing those movements. And let's say at one point, like let's see here. I forgot to put it in the water.
Right. Since he didn't temper it, hopefully he didn't just burn the patient. Mannequins don't like to complain much.
You see how I have the frena right here, very nice marked, you know? And over here, looks like I'm missing some. So what do? I go back to my compound, put more right there. That's why I don't want it. I've seen some of your trays that they're too short. If they are too short, then you need to put a lot more of this compound, which it's pretty brittle at some point. So you want to have enough space to fill it up with the compound, but not so much to where you're losing the support of this. If that's correct, Wally?
Yes, and make it easier when you have to trim it back.
Right.
Because you're not going to leave it all the way extended in the bottom of the vestibule. We need to trim it back for our impression. So our impression material can go all the way to the bottom of the vestibule. Functional vestibule, dynamic vestibule.
Exactly. He's getting ahead of the game. So I tempered it. And you see, I'm tempering this side too. I don't care. Because it's gonna go to the patient's mouth again, right? And I'm gonna have him do all the movements, even do them again here. So I have everything even.
Well, sometimes with a patient, it might be advantageous to have one side tempered, the other not, if you have to push the cheek out of the way with your impression tray. That way you don't distort the material with the cheek, the mouth, the lips, whatever is in the way.
Let's see how it comes out now. And now I have a pretty good deep part of the vestibule all around, right? Let's try it again in patient's mouth. And it's going pretty much everywhere. Maybe I'm missing a little part here. Maybe I leave it. But remember, this, it's just the first step. And then later on, we're gonna do a wash, a full wash with a different material, which will give me the precision and the exactitude of the impression I'm looking for. As for now, this is pretty good. Now I would like to put it in some cold water. Don't follow me.
Okay.
I'm just putting it in cold water. Okay. And sometimes we like to have a bucket of ice water or a little container with ice water, because the ice water, what's gonna happen with the compound right now? Well, now with the cold water, this is gonna be again as hard as the new compound, right? Now what do? I'm gonna take my ballpark knife and I'm going to trim it. I'm gonna trim just enough from everywhere, you see? About a millimeter or two. And I know it sounds like why am I doing all this? But this, remember, it's an dynamic impression. And now I need to make space for the final wash, we call it, or the final impression, right, Wally?
Yep. Only take it down about a millimeter because we want about a millimeter gap between the border molded tray and the patient's functional vestibule for the wash material to record. And also, in a second, he can show you, you have a burr in your burr block, has a green line on it that does a very nice job trimming compound when it's cold.
When
And
it's cold.
it's got the big teeth on it and does a nice job.